Why control is an illusion. A Stoic guide to inner power. Most people spend their entire lives wrestling with things they can never truly command. Outcomes, opinions, circumstances, the behavior of others. We pour enormous energy into shaping the world, believing that if we try hard enough, plan carefully enough, or worry intensely enough, life will finally cooperate. But it rarely does. And long before modern psychology, ancient Stoic thinkers, especially Marcus Aurelius, understood a truth we still struggle to accept. Control is mostly an illusion. The moment you stop trying to dominate what cannot be dominated, you reclaim the only power that has ever truly belonged to you: your judgment, your response, your inner world. Today, we'll explore why control keeps slipping through your fingers, how your mind quietly manufactures suffering, and how to develop an inner strength that no external event can take away. Let's begin. From the moment you wake up, you try to choreograph the day. You want traffic to flow. You want people to behave sensibly. You want your plans to unfold exactly as imagined. But reality never signs contracts with us. The weather shifts. People disappoint us. Opportunities vanish. Unexpected problems appear without warning. And still we persist in micromanaging life as if it owes us obedience. Marcus Aurelius observed this pattern nearly 2,000 years ago. He saw that people exhaust themselves, not because life is cruel, but because they cling to expectations life never agreed to meet. Most of what you try to control was never yours to command. When something happens, a delay, a rejection, a loss, the mind reacts instantly. This is bad. This is unfair. This ruins everything. But pause for a moment. The event itself is neutral. It carries no meaning until your mind assigns one. A canceled meeting is just a canceled meeting. A rude comment is just a series of sounds. A setback is simply a change in direction. The suffering doesn't come from the event. It comes from the interpretation. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the mind has the power to turn obstacles into fuel, but only when you stop allowing your first emotional reaction to write the story. The event is not the enemy. Your interpretation is. So what can you actually control? Not the weather. Not the economy. Not the past. Not the future. Not other people. What you can control is your judgment, your choices, your effort, your attitude, and your response. This is what the Stoics call the ruling faculty, the inner citadel that no one can invade unless you open the gates. When you focus on this inner domain, life becomes lighter. When you abandon it and chase external control, life becomes heavier. Here's the paradox. The less you try to control the world, the more control you gain over yourself. Most suffering comes from arguing with reality. This shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have said that. This wasn't part of the plan. But reality doesn't negotiate. It doesn't pause for your preferences. It doesn't apologize for inconvenience. It doesn't adjust itself to expectations. Marcus Aurelius believed peace begins the moment you stop insisting that reality be different. This isn't passivity. It's clarity. You can still act. You can still improve things. You can still pursue goals. But you do it without friction, resentment, or inner resistance. Whenever life challenges you, ask one question. Is this within my control, or only my reaction to it? If it's outside your control, release it. If it's inside your control, take responsibility. This single question dissolves anxiety, frustration, and pointless struggle, Anxiety thrives in the gap between expectation and reality. When you expect life to follow your script, every deviation feels like a threat. When you expect people to behave predictably, every surprise feels like betrayal. But when you accept that control is limited, anxiety loses its grip. You stop forecasting disasters. You stop living in imaginary futures. You return to the present, the only place life actually happens. Stoicism isn't about emotional suppression. It's about adaptability. A strong tree bends in the wind. A skilled sailor adjusts the sails. A wise person works with reality instead of fighting it. Marcus Aurelius believed adaptability is the highest form of strength. Every obstacle contains potential, but only if you stop reacting long enough to see it. A delay teaches patience. Failure teaches strategy. Loss teaches resilience. The obstacle becomes the path. Peace isn't the absence of problems. It's the absence of unnecessary struggle. When you know what belongs to you and what doesn't, life simplifies. You stop chasing approval. You stop fearing uncertainty. You stop clinging to outcomes. Control is an illusion, but that's no tragedy. It's liberation. Because once you stop trying to command the world, you gain command over yourself. And no circumstance can ever take that power.